Hi, I'm Christi Burke-Maves from Vancouver, Washington.
And I'm Jim Null from Beaverton, Oregon.
We are the 2010 U.S. National Taekwondo Pumse team members in synchronized pairs and individual competition.
Last month at the U.S. National Taekwondo Pumse team trials, my partner and I made the national team, which will allow us to represent the United States at the first Pan American Championships in Monterrey, Mexico in December of this year.
What most people don't realize is that 8 months prior to the team trials, I had a total hip replacement of my right hip.
What initially caused your injury?
Actually, it wasn't any one traumatic event. It was actually a cascading series of injuries that started over a decade ago when I first had an inversion ankle fracture. That led to a certain amount of my muscles around my hip area getting weak, and which subsequently caused a hip flexor tear, and it created such an imbalance that I actually started to wear away the cartilage in the joint to the point where the joint actually started to remodel itself.
When did the injury get to the point that you knew you had to do something?
It actually started to hurt and cause me some issues in 2005. 2006, when I first made the team, it was causing me some issues with range of motion, pain, but I was still able to train through it because my husband, who's also my coach, was able to use some stretching and some particular strengthening exercises to be able to hold off any sort of surgery that we thought we could. By the time I think 2007, 2008 rolled around, it was getting worse. And I actually had surgeons tell me then that they thought that I should get a hip replacement. We really didn't want to do that because it was such a big decision. We really wanted to wait and see if there was more that we could do. Plus, if we didn't have to have that done, we really wanted to make sure that we had the latest technology possible. By 2009 at US team trials, it was hurting so bad that I could barely walk, and we actually decided in between rounds at the team trials that we were going to go ahead and go through with the procedure.
How long have you and Christi been pairs?
Well, I've known Christi for over 20 years, but training together for Pumse, we started early 2007. I initially wasn't planning on doing the pairs competition or competing for US team slot at all because my daughter was just born. But we started working out then, and so it's been 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How often do you practice?
I practice every day. Of course, Taekwondo is my full-time job. Weight lift 2 or 3 times a week. We do interval training 3 times a week. Christi and I get together at least twice a week, sometimes 3 if there's a big competition coming up.
How do you balance training with family and running a business?
My business is Taekwondo, so I get to kind of do a little training with my work. My wife also teaches, and my daughter just started taking class too. So we get a lot of quality time together as a school owner. Just finding the time sometimes can still be difficult. I work out, I have fun, and I get a good supportive partner and family.
What were your first thoughts when you heard your partner was going to get a hip replacement?
I was very relieved that Coach Maves had decided that she was going to get that replacement. Of course, knowing that she'd be able to kick better. I had no idea about how long the recovery would be, so I started researching it just to find out.
Yeah.
What was the recovery like right after the surgery?
It was difficult. Right afterwards, I spent 4 or 5 days in the hospital, and I remember the first time that I walked the day after the surgery, had a lot of people there filming, and it was difficult. And at the time, it seemed like it was going to be just this huge, long road to recovery. But actually, when I look back on it in hindsight, it really wasn't that long because I was on a walker for a day or 2, then I was on 2 crutches, and then by the second week, I was on 1 crutch, and then I started walking on my own. And by the end of the second week, we were actually, my coach already had me doing hip extensions and some other some exercises to start strengthening that joint complex already.
What does it mean to you to be representing the United States at the first Pan American Pumse Championship?
It's exciting.
We've been national team members 2 times before, in 2007, 2008. And to get to wear that USA on the back of your uniform is an amazing feeling. And to be at the first Pan American PUMSE Championships.
It's an amazing feeling, like you said, to be able to represent the United States, and of course, winning a medal will be even better.
Yes.
We're just amazingly excited about it, and we can't wait to get into the next phase of our training.
Absolutely.
Six months between a total hip replacement and making the U.S. national team is truly phenomenal. Did you think she could recover in time?
No, I didn't. At first, I had no delusion that we were going to be able to make the team. I knew we might be able to compete. It was going to be difficult, but like I said, I checked in with some of my colleagues, and first thing they said was, "Oh yeah, you get 6 months. Cool, that's enough time." And which kind of made me sit back and think. And the most critical thing from my perspective was her stretchability, her flexibility in order to be able to get her to operate.
You know, as one of the coaches of Horizon, we're very, very excited about Christi and Jim and what they've been able to accomplish over the last 4 years. It's just truly amazing. We're very excited and very inspirational for most of our athletes. What is truly amazing is when you look at Christi, 6 months post total hip replacement surgery, and what she's been able to accomplish is just unbelievable. It blows all of our minds, and we're very excited about the progress that she's made. But what's also exciting for us is the fact that they'll be representing not only the U.S., but the Pacific Northwest at the first Pan Am Championships in Monterrey, Mexico. And so we're very, very excited about that. It's great for our program, and we are looking forward to the success that they're going to have there. And one of the great things about our program is the fact that we've impacted a lot of lives, and we continue to do so. One of the unfortunate parts about our program is that the funding when it comes to international competition, most of that is handled by the athletes themselves. Due to the fact that our program is relatively new, we're not funded by any of the U.S. Olympic Committee national body programs, so the athletes again has to bear that responsibility for raising their own funds. So we always make an appeal to the community. Those that are interested, those that are impacted, are excited about what we're trying to do. If you'd like to support in some kind of way, we'd certainly appreciate it. Thanks.